that your grandfathers took our land and they murdered our people. Your grandfathers took our land and they murdered our people.
Retief came from the south and must have approached the capital from slightly to the left of the furthest point in the picture. Dingaan received Retief very cordially, or so it appeared. The negotiations also went without a hitch. The negotiations also went without a hitch. Dingaan agreed to grant the area south of the Tukela River to the Mzimvubu River from the Drakensberg to the sea, and including Port Natal to the Voortrekkers. This area was sparsely populated because Shaka had killed off or chased away most of the tribes who lived there. However, Dingaan's selling price was somewhat strange. Retief had to retrieve oxen from a captain, Sikonyela. The oxen were apparently stolen from Dingaan.
As ons moet ooreenkom oor grond, moet ons eers ooreenkom oor beeste. Jy moet die beeste wat gesteel is terugbring, saam met die diewe. Ek sal van my beeswagters saamstuur. Hulle sal die beeste ken. As jy dit doen, sal ek vir jou grond gee. As jy dit doen, sal ek vir jou grond gee.
Returned to his laager and asked for volunteers to accompany him to Dingaan. The oxen had to be formally handed over. Piet Retief and 69 of his men, among them his son, as well as 30 servants and wagon drivers, left the trekkers on the 25th of January 1838. They would never return. They approached Dingaan's capital from the west on the 3rd of February 1838. Dingaan received them the next day, Sunday the 4th. The transport document was explained to Dingaan by Thomas Halstead, an Englishman from Port Natal who could speak Zulu and who acted as an interpreter for Retief.
Now you tell us you negotiated. How can you negotiate with a person whom you don't even, because they didn't even understand these languages? How did you negotiate with them? So
the transport document was explained to Dingaan by Thomas Halstead, an Englishman from Port Natal who could speak Zulu and who acted as an interpreter for Retief. After many questions and explanations, Dingaan signed the treaty.
Were robbed of their land.
After many questions and explanations, Dingaan signed the treaty.
Were robbed of their land.
After many questions and explanations, Dingaan signed the treaty.
Were robbed of their land.
After many questions and explanations, Dingaan signed the treaty.
Were robbed of their land.
After many questions and explanations, Dingaan signed the treaty.
Were robbed of their land.
After many questions and explanations, Dingaan signed the treaty.
I'm taking back the words, Chair.
Three trekkers and 3 chief council members of Dingaan signed as witnesses. One can imagine how Retief and his men had to endure these festivities in silence, as a Sunday was a hallowed day to the Voortrekkers. But Retief did not want to antagonize Dingaan with the treaty safely in his satchel, so they had to appear to take an interest. Many historians blame Retief for ignoring the warnings of some of his own people, the British settlers in Port Natal and the missionary Owen, by choosing to believe in Dingaan's sincerity. Retief was also aware of the fact that the land granted to him by Dingaan had already been promised to the British settlers in Port Natal. But his ideal of a safe, independent Voortrekker Republic was as good as done, and he was in a hurry to return to his people. Retief wanted to depart on Monday the 5th of February, but Dingaan announced that he wanted to bid them farewell on Tuesday the 6th. The Zulus started dancing again, and the trekkers were uneasy. As was the custom, they left their horses and rifles outside the capital. On Dingaan's order, kill the wizards, Retief and his men were overpowered and their hands tied with thongs. They were taken to a nearby hill, Kwa Matiwani, and killed with fighting sticks.
You think we are inhuman?
Matiwani, and killed with fighting sticks.
Your grandfathers took our land and they murdered our people.
Matiwani, and killed with fighting sticks. It's a fact that Dingaan feared the trekkers, who were...
That is why you come here with your whiteness and undermine that.
It's a fact that Dingaan feared the trekkers, who were entering his land in large numbers. Their victory over Mzilikatsi's Matabeles and the apparent ease with which they defeated Sikonyela strengthened his distrust in the trekkers